Everyone. Welcome to this session on Thursday, the 23rd of November here in Australia, 22nd of November for you guys. I wanted to talk about a journaling protocol. There you go, get rid of that. I wanted to talk about this journaling protocol that I've learned about. And if you're on Spotify, then look up the Huberman Lab, Huberman, and it's called the Journaling Protocol to Improve Mental and Physical Health. And I was listening to it, and it's a really great thing to do when you're a little bit stuck and you can't move forward. Because this research that was done in the 1980s, and it's been repeated quite a few times, has shown this particular protocol really helps to improve people's physical and mental health. Now, what the protocol involves, and if you listen to the podcast on Spotify, he goes through how exactly to do the protocol. But basically is you find a quiet space for 15 to 30 minutes. You can either use pen and paper or you can do it on the computer. And what you write about, and you write continuously without stopping, so it doesn't matter about grammar, doesn't matter about spelling, doesn't matter about anything. You continuously write about your most challenging or traumatic experience. And you do this once a week for 4 weeks, or every day for 4 days. And the reason it's 15 to 30 minutes is if you become very emotional about what you're writing about, you might need to stop, gather yourself, and then start again. For some people, it might just be 15 or 20 minutes. For other people, it might be 30. So it can be a challenging experience or some sort of traumatic experience that you've had. And what they found was that helped people shift out of that old identity that they created as a result of that and into a new identity. So as an exercise, if you're really feeling stuck and there's something else that's underneath that maybe is ready for releasing, then this would be the perfect opportunity to take the time to do it. Because we're getting close to the end of the year and we have that reflective time, it's really nice to sit down and think, well, what is that event? We're not fixing, treating, healing, doing anything. What we're doing is we're journaling over 4 days, everything about that event, how we felt, what was going on. And so it's bringing out, if you like, what that story is and writing it down. And over the 4 sessions, it's like treating your own resistance. So it's a really good way to release and let go some of that deeply held behaviors or fears that keep us cycling and sabotaging ourselves. So any questions, James? I can see your mind ticking over.
So we're supposed to just it's Huberman Labs.
Yeah, so I put it in the chat.
Okay. And this is supposed to be a traumatic event.
Or a challenging event. They said it didn't have to be, with the research that they've done, it didn't have to be a trauma. It could have just been a challenging event that affected you.
I just find this fascinating with everything that kind of floated in for me today, which I'll share a little later when it's appropriate. But Um, yeah, okay. Um, I'm in. I got to tell you right now, I'm feeling like this is a total key to creating. And so anyway, I'm excited about this exercise.
Yeah, well, so I was laying on my healing bed, my frequency bed, and I was thinking, what is it that everyone needs? What do we all need? What's for the session today? And this came up on Spotify, so I was listening. I thought, yes, this is going to shift to the next level and help to clear some of that.
Well, well, with some of the shadow work with Chris there, and I've been doing that core exercise, and really what's floated in for me today was, go in and then mother, father, and then go back to before either of those. So, i.e., go to source, go to the light, and then go back. And as I'm doing this exercise over and over and over, I'm starting to realize and like going, hey, wait a minute. Who cares? The story I'm making up is that when I'm in light source, either by their influence or not, but there's a choice of energy from this side, there's a choice of energy from that side, then there's a mission. The whole process is kind of the same process, just done in all our applications and other areas of our life. And coming to peace with that core issue, I can see this is right there again, addresses that.
Yeah, but it's something in this life.
No, I got it. Okay. No, I already, I
Got that
think I
bit.
know what my deal is.
Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, so I was thinking about, so there's these layers and layers of when we do the auditorium and we have all those tiers of resistances of part personalities and aspects, and we sort of, okay, we've cleared one tier, there's still 99 tiers to go. This might be a way to circumvent and just to shift maybe 10 layers that we've created that brings us out of not being good enough or don't deserving or who are we to have money stuff, who are we to be successful. So I thought, oh, okay, this sounds like an ideal way to look at it. And it probably, feeling into it, it probably releases old contracts that we've made when we came here or before we came here for what the work is that we're going to be doing here, but to stop us doing it. And so as we go through these processes and doing Chris's stuff and doing this journaling protocol, it helps us to shift perspectives and to move into our power more as the energies shift on the planet. Yeah. Because it seems like the more resistance there is in the planet, but there has been a big shift when you look at what's going on in the Middle East and Africa, all around those areas in Europe, there has been a shift. And maybe when we start to do this as well, it's going to help shift it even more, if that makes sense. But here we are. So I was thinking about all that, and it's Thanksgiving for you guys this week. And all the Black Friday sales are on, and where you can go and spend all your money. And we've got all the Black Friday sales here as well, so we can spend all our money. And but we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, of course. We keep our turkey for Christmas. but it's cold over there, is it? James is in a t-shirt. Katarina's all rugged up.
It's getting cold here, and my house was only 16 degrees Celsius or 63 or 15, 63, because I don't like the noise of the heating, and so I just turn it on when I'm home, or then I turn it off, and during the night I have it off, and then I stay in bed. Last night I worked until 4 a.m, and then at 7 o'clock I woke up, and I'm like, no, I'm staying in bed, and I didn't get out of bed until 9:30, doing my meditation and my inner exercises and all my good stuff, and the orientation meditation, and I'm like, ugh.
So how do you get on when it's really cold, when you have all that snow? Do you have your heater on then? I guess so.
I mean, in winter, sometimes my house was like 57 degrees or 55, which was really cold, what is that in Celsius, 10, 11 degrees. But I have electric heater that are quiet. And so then I'm turning them on. But we don't have that much snow. We are living in like a tunnel kind of thing, where we don't have a lot of snow.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like snow. I like to have snow on the ground, but not enough that it's hard to drive,
Yeah. Oh, go, James.
Oh, I think we're going to hit 80 tomorrow. And we've had what they
Oh,
call,
wow.
Julie was familiar. I was surprised, but the Santa Ana winds have been here, and they've blown for several days. And so, yeah, no, we're having a warm streak. So, and it's been quite nice. It's been getting cold at night, but since the wind's been blowing, it's been pretty nice round the clock. So,
So does the Santa Ana winds bring all the dust and stuff?
oh yeah,
Like, brings all the bacteria and viruses and the stuff?
I would assume so. It pretty much it's blowing everywhere from everything. And when I was a kid, I lived in there was like 7 houses built on this street, and this street was just cut out of the middle of the fields and houses built there. And the dust would blow real bad. It was like Oklahoma Dust Bowl or something. But I've got to think that there could be a correlation with some of the things going on with me physically and the winds. But this did start like 3 weeks ago here at our house, maybe even a month ago. But there's no doubt the winds, we've had rains and winds and quite a collage of weather for us in the last week and a half. But we're I used to know jokes where I live. We have some stuff every once in a while, but mainly our weather's pretty doggone good 90+% of the time.
We used to have, when they stripped all the forest and the things for the broadacre farming, we used to get the wind in Victoria and South Australia, in those 2 states. It'd be like the Midwest, where the wind comes and takes all the topsoil and takes it out to sea.
Yeah.
And everyone would get really sick because of all the toxins and the everything in the soil and in the air. Alrighty, so let's do a recode on whatever choice is giving you the hardest resistance or the most resistance moving forward. Where are you stuck, in other words?
Could it be the challenging situation that we talked about before?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, then I got something.
Yeah.
I'm so in the flow. I don't have any resistances to nothing.
Oh,
I think
there we go.
I'm sick. That's why I'm feeling that way.
My middle name is Om.
Is it?
OHM. No,
Wow.
OHM, like the sign for resistance in electricity. Om.
Well, I'm just the flow, man. There's nothing here stopping me. I'm just success, you name it.
Oh, I love it.
James? Okay.
Yeah,
You
seems to
got
be
it,
popular theme here today. I guess what I'm struggling with is or my block is this idea of job, earning money, or it could be business, could be this, could be that, but I find that I somehow or another have kept myself okay, I'm stuck on the old paradigm of earning money and the new paradigm of who I am, allowing money to flow effortlessly into my life. You know, the flow of finances. And where I was going to go before was it's like, cool, man, hopefully this stock does all of this stuff and all of that, but I need a job. That was the squirrel brain going. I need a job. And I got to do something, even if it's, we talked earlier, 3 to 5 grand a month that, you know, and I find that pattern is kind of like, I think that's part of my anchor to keep me stuck in an old mentality that, yeah, you get $1 million over here. That's cool. That's fine. You know, but you got to get this in order to be successful or something. And it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. It's not something I've struggled a lot with, except that I'm realizing it's an undertone that's popping up right now. And I think it's probably a big, huge mountain anchor's better that I've tethered myself to. So other than that, I'm cool.
You're in the flow.
Yeah.
You're in the flow. You got it, man. Okay. So what I think we'll do with this is to do a negative belief flip.
Okay.
I think that would be good to do. So I want you to think about, okay, so if money flow, if you choose to receive free money, well, what's going to be the choice, Jane?
That must be a good question because you got to ask it to me again. It flew right by. What'd you say?
Oh,
So what exactly is the choice? It was to have free money. What is the choice?
No, I think we'll stick with free money, but but me, I'm finding that in this moment, not that this is my choice, but the choice that I'm unconsciously coming from is that um an equation to feeling successful, and that I realize what my choice is, been the goal or whatever it is I'm reaching for. And it's kind of the false identity thing, but it's the okay, if I have this $3,000 to $5,000 a month every month flowing in from some action that I am performing in some way, shape, or form, that gives me a level of success or a feeling of confidence or some sort of old paradigm feeling in there. And then now, as money's starting to flow in and stuff, I can still see all of these other things that I have attached to that, how I'll spend it, how I'll live, how things will be, how I'll be fulfilled. But I'm finding this other part of me is popping its head up, going, yeah, yeah, yeah. But your choice was is to feel this way about yourself, not so much about free money. And I think inside it's me turning around, running away from where I'm at, going backwards.
Yep. So if you've got 3.5, say, you've got 3.5 grand a month,
Yeah.
that proves that I've been working hard.
I realize I'm creating a convoluted mess here.
No, I'm just
No,
asking the question.
I think it isn't really. I set up a paradigm of where I needed that amount of money extra and above and beyond for me to survive monthly. And
Right.
then I put a lot of energy over time into realizing, okay, when I was working, when I was this, when I was that, why I got some sort of a something out of it, a sense of my identity. And I think that what I'm starting to do in my present moment choices is choosing the free money thing, yeah, but dragging this old image of me attached to that and then trying to change my thing. No, you're really after. I'm sorry. I think what I'm attempting to say is there's this sense of confidence in me that if I had this smaller amount of ongoing money, that would give me this sense of confidence that I had done something versus a huge windfall and not acknowledging I've done something. That's just a huge windfall. And I almost feel like I should shut up because I'm not making any sense.
No, you're digging a hole.
Yeah. And I
So what my question is, I'll go back to my question. What will it give you? The first thing in your mind, what does it give you? What does it prove to you having that money every month?
okay. Well, my dad pops up. So it proves I'm a man. It proves I'm doing the protocol that was laid out before me. It proves, yes, I can have this other side, but it proves I'm doing what I was supposed to do to be blah, blah, blah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where's the toilet handle when you need it?
But that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what would be a choice that was just for you?
I'm the lucky dude that gets to live this way.
Yeah.
And it's A-okay with me, man. Somebody's got to do it, and I'm the one.
Yep.
And I'm all right with that.
So what would be the choice then? How would you word it?
Well, okay. I love my original choice that a consistent flow of renewable incomes, but in this choice, what would my choice be is okay, just the thing that's popping in this moment is just the choice of laughing my way through this life and being financially supported.
Yeah.
Or
So I choose to be financially supported.
life just financially supports me.
Yeah.
And
How does it feel when you say that?
about 98%, I feel that little tiny twinge there. I went, no, doggone it. You're right there, man. Got a clean getaway. It feels weak, hollow, and shallow. It doesn't feel like there's any real meat to it, any real truth to it, and it's just something somebody says sitting here. Oh, there you go. That wasn't rehearsed. Um, uh, I adopted something. I think I may have mentioned this, but I saw George Clooney in an interview years ago, and he just said, "Hey, man, my whole life I've just been like this chosen one." And it's not that I don't really care about George Clooney, and I don't really care about mimicking his life, except for a couple things. But I just enjoyed the fact that he was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm the one that always gets lucky. All these good things have been happening to me my whole life." Adam Sandler, the same way. I've picked this up in several people. And I just admire that. And I like that. And I realized looking at my life, all I got to do is shift it just a tiny little bit. My dad used to get so mad at me. He's like, God damn it. You're like a bird with a nest on the ground, man. And you just complain about everything. And, and I just realized that, man, things are really, really good. And a whole bunch of my goal striving is I'm finding I care less and less about it. Because I think the thing is that this art of creating and manifesting and being in the flow of life, that's the gig. And that's where I want to be. And if we bring it into 3D, I just want to have a large sum of money to help that vision flow easier.
Yep. So instead of staying in your head, you've got to get back in your heart.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay. Instead of analyzing everything to the nth degree. Yeah. To please Dad. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good belief, isn't it? I've got to please Dad. I've got to prove that I'm a man and I can do it.
What is it, Hellinger's work that I haven't read, but isn't, I think it's Hellinger that says, you know, you can't do better than dad.
Yeah, Bert
And
Hellinger's work.
yeah, and that I know for sure that most fathers, but for sure my father would just be tickled to death to have any one of us, and a couple of us that have done better than him. And you know, but um so I choose not to allow that one to
But if that's the resistance, that's what's sitting underneath, isn't it? So everything I've ever done my whole life.
yeah, okay.
Does that make sense? Sort of.
Well, there you go. That's see what you did, or what I got was once again that fine art of denying the resistance. Sit right here with you guys in front of everybody and decipher it right down to the nth degree, and the individual will spin off the pin of that needle and deny the resistance. Yes, isn't that kind of what I've just done?
Yeah. We love you.
Well, God bless us all.
So you can have the same choice, but when we finish this, you'll be coming from a different place with it, right?
Yeah.
So same with Katerina. Her choices are going to be the same, but when she'll just come from a different place. Because you've shifted that belief that you created in that way back then moment. Yeah. And that's, Chris often says that you still might have the same choice, but where you come from is different. And it's a bit like when I learnt my nutrition medicine, we learnt that the things that we give the client might be the same as someone who follows a protocol, but our understanding of why we're giving it is different because we understand the biochemistry more of the person. Yeah. And so it's the same with this. And yeah. So it makes a difference. All right. So you've got the belief or the story that you're going to work on. So I want you to close your eyes. And know what your choice is, where you're going to be. So just pick that up first about being successful, doing the work that you're here for, financially abundant in all areas of life, prosperous. And knowing that we make decisions on information that we have and the stories that we and beliefs that we have that we've grown up with. And so I want you to think about this belief that you have that's underlying or obstructing where you're going to go, what you want, what your choice is. And I want you to see if you can remember the first time you made a decision that turned into that belief. Doesn't matter if you don't. Process still works the same. but just allow your imagination to come up with something. And I want you to remember, if you can, 3 other events or times where that belief has impacted you. Just thinking about. This is something that I decided in childhood. And that throughout my life, I've been playing it out with different people, different jobs, different organisations. And some people have allowed me to play it out in more depth than others. So having allowed your unconscious to bring that information up for you, I want you to go ahead and float up above your timeline and turn towards your path. And I want you to float all the way back to just before you made that decision. And I want you to drop down into that event when you were still deciding. So you might be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You might see the event, or you just might know you were there. You mightn't see anything, you might just have a feeling. Either way, it doesn't matter, as long as you are just before that event. Going back when you were still deciding about that belief. And superconscious, are you there? Superconscious, can we ask our unconscious to simply notice how many more options are available? Just noticing what else you could decide. And just go ahead and pick which one will offer a better result. From a superconscious perspective, which other option would give me a better result in the long term? That's it. And now float back up above the event, before the event, and look towards now. And from that perspective, just decide on that. Just go ahead and decide on the new option, the one you hadn't noticed was a better way till right now. That the superconscious has given you, given all the knowledge and wisdom that you hold, that this option is a better one. Now I want you to take that new decision with you all the way back to now, only as quickly as you can stop and notice 3 events along the way to re-evaluate themselves in light of your new decision. I want you just to notice what changes from then all the way back to now. And I want you to stop at those places that created the trauma later in life and see them with this new option, this new choice. And just allowing yourself to have a different result. Flipping that negative belief to a positive. Flipping that unconscious belief that was created and turning it into something that creates a positive action step. One that creates success, abundance, strength, resilience, creativity, positivity. And when you've done that, come all the way back to now with your new decision. And superconscious, are you there? Superconscious, can you see any resistances, any blocks or obstacles that are impeding this from happening? Superconscious, can we please go to the other event that created that block? Can we please treat and do a massive change history and everything else until done? And superconscious, can you show that part unlimited options? That's it. And just choosing from all those unlimited choices, all those unlimited options of being limitless. The one that's in most alignment with achieving my choice. And adding that into my timeline. That's it. Treating all parallel, tandem, and shadow quantum timeline over all time and space. That's it. Treating all beliefs, emotions, and behaviours. Any stories that I've created to keep me stuck and on a hamster wheel. That's it. That's it. And just coming all the way with your new decisions, coming back down into your body, back into the room, and just opening your eyes when you're ready. Taking some big deep breaths, having a cup of tea, a coffee, Bonox. Jumping up and down, swinging around the room, throwing the cat out the door, breaking state.
I wouldn't have the energy for that. I was like, I thought, oh, I think I'm going to fall asleep before even it was like when it's so dark, it's like, oh, I count the days for being warmer. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Uh-huh. There were all kinds of, like one scenery was um, when I did my apprenticeship, I wanted to go to, finish and then go back to school. And of course, my employer, they wanted to keep me because I have been a cheap labor and did a great job. And so my dad said, oh, he's taking care of it. He talks to my employer. And then he comes back and he says, um, you're going to stay there. They want you, they need you, and you should be lucky to have that work. And that was such a huge disappointment. And so I said to my dad, no, I'm going back to school. And so we basically didn't talk for a year. And yeah, and it was such a huge betrayal. And yeah, and then there were some other situations later. And it's interesting because I cannot really um, recall it now. So it is definitely hiding again. But there were, I mean, I've been experiencing so many betrayals in my life that it's not funny anymore. And so it is like, yeah, I'm so shutting it off that because going through it, it's too painful. So I'm just blocking it. I'm not allowing myself to feel it because it's more than I can handle.
Yeah, fair enough. So even if it was just a little bit today, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and I can feel it that it keeps working,
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
And how about you, James? That was good.
Yeah, I'm not okay. Yeah, mine was I bounced into somewhere, we're going to say, call it 2.5 years old, and my father is just screaming at my mother because she took some money from her parents to help them out. And I think so there was, i.e., label it free money. And that threatened his, I'm, projecting, but his manhood, his everything else, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there on the floor watching this. So then what bounced into my timeline was different times where I've gotten free money or had a lucky break or something, and my father being upset with me. And so, one time I got a boatload of unemployment money, and I can see why he was upset because it's unemployment money. And, but yeah, just anyway, so then it was way cool. So then to go back and make the changes with my mother kind of like, oh, Jim, and that energy of accepting free money and we're awesome and carrying on and a whole bunch of other stuff, that became the predominant energy. And then when it came to these other points on my timeline, then I was able to bring that energy into those spots. And through all of this, just seemed like kind of dad just morphed into some other character that was good with it. There wasn't a lot of energy given to him, but anyway, that was kind of my.
Well done, Guy.
Thank
So
you.
let's just test it. So I want you just to close your eyes, Katarina. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. But
No, I will.
yeah. So I just want you to close your eyes and just remember an event in the past where, because of the old decision, it limited your option. And just notice if the decision is still there, or has it been redecided? And I think James said it's already been redecided for him anyway. And now, as a result of having those different options and shifting the timeline, if you like, the result, I want you to go out into the future, which, if what happened in the past, by your belief of the past, you would have acted differently because of that old decision, that old belief. And I want you to notice what happens now in light of your new decision, of that new belief, that new story, and how things have changed, and how you can reaffirm your new reality that you've created because of that redecision. And by having that new understanding, it gives you different options and understandings of the end result. And we choose an option that will offer an even better result. And then, while you're there, asking, what action did I take in my current reality to reaffirm this new reality that aligned me with the new reality, with that new choice, with that new decision. And just feel the energy shift. As your body changes resonance to that new choice and option. Keeping all the wisdom, knowledge, and understandings from the original choice, but having a different choice now, because there's unlimited possibility. That's it. And just bringing that action back to now. When you're ready, just back in your body, taking some big, deep breaths and coming back.
I had a real big aha. We spoke the other day a little bit about how the Rockefellers take care of their family members. Well, anyway, I just realized whatever type of program I'm trying to put together for assisting others, wouldn't have ever worked, because unconsciously I was going to try to shove every single person through that cheese slicer of being the worker dude. No matter how many words
Sorry.
I flavored it with, I still had that in me, and then I just saw how things weren't going to work at all. Now everything's gonna, I don't know what gonna work means, except that I know that it's just in a much greater place and space than it was before, because unbeknownst to me, my other paradigm was kind of manipulative. Not that I want to manipulate people, but unconsciously I would be wanting to shove them through this mold and come out the other end, and that's not my goal at all. So anyway, it was pretty kind of good for me. See that.
Fantastic. I've just got to go and chase the dog.
How are you, Katerina?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. No,
You're having a lot in this moment. Are you good? Feel free
yeah,
to.
I am.
Okay.
No, I'm really good. Yeah, no. It's interesting. You know what? I run to the bathroom real quick before Julie comes back.
Okay,
I can hear you guys. I'll be right back.
I'll hold the fort down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that.
No, perfect. Katharina,
Perfect.
she's
Yeah, I heard.
okay.
I've got my door closed and one of the dogs can open it. So the carer just dropped one dog off and the other dog went out to find her.
Right on.
Very exciting things here. Anyway, I'm just going to stop the recording because we don't need to hear all our chitter chatter, and but we'll stay on.